This, for me, is heaven. I love it here.
So do we.
Have you ever dreamt of starting over and turning your back on city living?
Let's do it.
Exciting!
Of giving up everything you know to make a brand new life in the country?
Love that view. And there's our house.
In this series, I'll meet those who are bravely leaving their 9-to-5s and selling up to chase their dreams.
This is my last big adventure. I'm going to enjoy it.
Cheers!
For a new life.
Of moving to the great British countryside to start their very own business from scratch.
It's definitely doubling everything.
For a year, I'll experience their brand new lives right alongside them.
How high do you want to go?
Yeah, that's good.
See up close the huge challenges they face.
It looks like the apocalypse has been and gone.
We're frozen solid.
That's a big hit in the pocket.
This is our running water.
If this doesn't work, we've got to walk away.
But I'll also discover the massive rewards.
Yes! Fully booked. This is a good sign.
700 for today.
That is wicked.
And when I return the following year,
Are you open or aren't you open? What a transformation.
I'll find out if all their endeavour achieved their dream, new life in the country. England's green and pleasant land. A dream location for a new beginning.
I'm here in the heart of rural Derbyshire to meet a family who've given up life in the centre of busy Ripley for this 240-acre sheep farm.
Here, in this spectacular landscape, I'm going to spend a year following John, Heather and their grown-up children and a cast of animals.
These are my babies that I bottle fed.
I want to know why, after 40 years as vets, they've sold their thriving practice, and instead of retiring and putting their feet up, they've put everything they have
Keeps you fit farming in Derbyshire, it's all uphill.
into making sheep's cheese,
Oh, wow, that is really crumbly, isn't it?
Yeah.
a niche product
I love cheese.
on an industrial scale,
Wow, it's got an echo, it's so big.
despite none of the family having farmed before.
Are you going to be responsible for milking hundreds of sheep?
I've never milked an animal in my life.
That might help if I put it in gear.
Have they got any hope of making their dream a reality?
That explains why he's not pregnant. We're scanning the ram.
Ah, it's the Bailey family. It's like an army descending.
Heather is 66 and John is 68. But instead of spending their twilight years in retirement, they decided to buy this 240-acre farm to start a brand new career.
Nice to meet you all. So, John and Heather, who else have we got here?
Well, we've got Dan on the end. He's cheesemaker.
Nice to meet you.
We've got David. He looks after the sheep, assistant cheesemaker. We've got Jay. Farmer, tractor driver, mechanic, dog's body. We've got Hannah, milkmaid.
Are you?
Pippa, small milkmaid.
Small milkmaid. And what role then do you both have?
We're management.
Management. I love that. And why have you settled on this kind of cheese in particular? What's the drive behind this?
I love cheese. I love sheep's cheese, particularly blue sheep's cheese. We've travelling through France a few years ago and happened in the caves at Roquefort, and we were quite taken with those. And we were looking at keeping a few sheep anyway, so we've combined the two, and off you go.
You're lucky there are so many of you. This is a proper Bailey family venture. Can we have a look around the farm?
Let's go.
Yeah.
John and Heather have a combined career looking after pets stretching nearly 80 years. They met when they were both working as vets in London and eventually relocated to the East Midlands. Their practice grew into a group of 5 surgeries, employing 100 people.
We started small and we ended up quite big, really.
But home was a flat above the practice with no garden. So when they were offered a healthy sum to sell their business and life's work, they decided to seize the moment and start a brand new life in the country.
We just decided we needed space, and nothing gives you space like a farm does.
John and Heather have used the proceeds from their veterinary sale to buy up farmland in 5 square miles of the verdant and beautiful Derbyshire Dales. With what's left in the bank, and a lot of hard work by the family, they want to build their dream life as farmers and cheesemakers.
The idea was not to retire, was just to find something different to do, wasn't it? It wasn't...
Who wants to retire?
Yeah.
Long time dead, aren't you?
As if starting a small food processing industry in retirement wasn't enough, they've also bought their dream home in the country. An ancient ruin that's had builders in for 6 months. And until it's been restored to glory...
What's this?
This is where we live.
This is Chez Nous.
Home is a caravan.
This is your home?
Yes.
How different is this to where you lived before?
Well, we're still living on the job, because we did used to live above the surgery.
Yeah. But did you live in a caravan before?
No.
But what's the bigger picture? What's the long-term plan?
John has promised me a nice house.
John, you're being very quiet.
To be ready for Christmas.
Yes, which Christmas, we don't know.
You just need to sell some sheep's cheese.
We do.
Lots of.
Lots of it.
In fact, Heather and John aim to sell 20 tonnes of their sheep's cheese in the first year. And to make that kind of quantity, they've just started building their dairy and production facilities. Basically, a small factory.
Oh, my goodness. Look at this.
Oh, yes.
Wow. It's just incredible. So what am I looking at now? What will this become?
That'll be the sheep housing. So what we've got down there, that's the feed system.
All this blue is just the feed
That's
system.
Feed system.
As you would expect of a couple who've spent their lives caring for animals, it's a state-of-the-art feeding system designed for optimum nourishment. The farming novices have gone to Sweden for this particular bit of kit.
Now, looking at this, it looks like we're quite a long way off. How long from now until you hope that this is filled with buying sheep and you're producing your cheese?
Well, we want the sheep in it, and we want the milking parlour going by the beginning of May. So 3 months we want it done, really.
Can we take a closer look?
Yeah.
My goodness. I mean, seeing this from this level, the scale is extraordinary. So what have we got being built here?
This is where the cheese will be made.
Yep.
In this building.
And the other side of this?
That's where the sheep will be milked.
What at the moment is just a hole in the ground is going to house an automated milking parlour. Also using the latest equipment that can milk 300 sheep in just 1 hour, providing over 1,000 pints of precious milk twice a day. That's a lot to build in 3 months.
Would you describe yourselves as optimists?
Definitely. I think people do need to have something to stretch themselves, and I think this will definitely stretch us.
Coming up, the Baileys put me to work as a farmhand.
Is there a strategy to feeding this many sheep?
Yes.
John's optimism is tested when work grinds to a halt.
We're frozen solid. Can't get a digger on site. Everyone's gone home.
And if the snow and ice weren't enough, along comes Brexit and COVID.
I think the chances of us getting to lamb here are 0.
I'm with the Baileys in Derbyshire. Following the sale of their successful vets practices, John and Heather and their 3 grown-up children are pursuing an extraordinary rural dream at an age when most people have retired.
Go on then, Pippa.
They've relocated to a farm stretching over 5 miles of stunning countryside.
All right, girls.
and are ploughing everything they've made into a huge passion project, producing sheep's cheese, having never farmed nor made cheese before, let alone on an industrial scale.
I can barely hear myself over the sheep.
It's surprising, isn't it, that sheep can make so much noise? This is feeding time, so we've got to get to it and feed them, and then we can get some peace and quiet.
Even at half its eventual size, it takes a small army of people working several times a day to feed the flock. Heather and John are investing a great deal of money building their new sheep shed, which will have a state-of-the-art automated feeding system from Sweden to provide the best nutrition for their sheep. But it's not installed yet, so I get to experience the old manual way.
Is there a strategy to feeding this many sheep?
Yes, if you go down there,
Yep.
and we'll stagger everybody and we can all get it done in one fell swoop.
Give me the thumbs up when you're ready.
Okay, right,
Okay.
guys, action.
Coming. Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Yep, okay. Here we go, here we go.
And with that, the sheep get stuck in.
Come on. Do you hear that? Almost silent suddenly.
It is, while they're eating, they are, it is absolutely.
Now that I can hear myself think, it's time to get to know my fellow farmhands. Starting with John and Heather's daughter, Hannah, and her husband, Jay.
How are you guys getting on? Pippa, how are you? Hello, Pippa. Your dad described you as a milkmaid. Are you going to be responsible for milking hundreds of sheep?
To be honest, I've never milked an animal in my life, so it'll be a new learning curve. It'll be exciting.
How are you learning?
Learn with trial and error sometimes.
When you say it's trial and error, how many errors have you had so far?
Quite a few errors, to be fair.
33-year-old Dan has been working as a brewer in nearby Leeds for the past 8 years. When John found out he shared his passion for cheese, he placed him in charge of making it. He has a lot to learn about running a business and making cheese on this huge scale.
Dan, you're the son-in-law of John and Heather, so
Yeah.
you've sort of married into this.
Yes.
Is there a pressure on you as head cheesemaker?
There is a bit, yeah, because the amount of money they're investing and the scale of the project is a lot bigger than I thought, and I'm going along with it, so I've got to really sort of get to grips with running a business, essentially, as well as making cheese, which I've got no experience in yet.
And finally, eldest son David has had various jobs, from office to factory to lab work.
So what's your role going to be?
I'm the gopher.
The gopher?
Yeah.
Does that mean you're going to be doing a bit of everything?
It certainly does.
I'm fascinated to know what you thought when your dad said, we're going to give up veterinary medicine and we're going to make sheep's cheese.
There's a fine line between brilliance and stupidity, and I hope this is walking the tightrope right down.
As my first visit draws to a close, I've really taken to the Baileys and their sheep.
Bye, sheep. See you next time.
Bye.
See, I have a way with sheep.
They're so full of energy and optimism and warmth. It strikes me that this plan is as much about family as it is about a passion for cheese. But they have a huge amount to do, and getting the farm factory finished in time to milk the sheep in May, well, it depends on everything going just right. 3 weeks later, building work on the new sheep shed, milking parlour and processing plant has stopped.
The construction's come to a halt. We're frozen solid. So, can't get a digger on site. Everyone's gone home.
And if that wasn't bad enough, there are also Brexit-related delays to deal with.
We're looking for timber imported from Europe, and it's stuck at the border. It's still in the continent. All these shenanigans with customs and import and exports causing a few delays there.
The milking period, or lactation, happens in a 6-month window after the ewes have lambed in the spring. But with nowhere to milk them and no equipment to do it with, they'll soon start missing out on their first year's milk.
This parlour building's causing me more concern because we haven't got even the steels up for that yet, so we could be getting a big delay on that one. It's looking increasingly probable that we're not going to be able to start milking in May. We've got to be realistic.
March brings a welcome thaw in the weather and a change in fortune.
We're making a fair bit of progress here now.
Materials have finally made it across the border, and building work has at last restarted.
The beams have gone up on the roof. We're just waiting for the council to decide which colour sheets we're to have.
But despite things moving forward, the crucial parlour building is at least 3 months behind schedule. And every month that passes means a month's less milk for John and Heather.
We were supposed to have this up and ready to go by the beginning of May. Realistically, we're putting that back to July now.
Every day, this family are learning new farming skills, which they certainly need if this project is to work. Especially son-in-law Dan, who is chief sheep's cheesemaker, but yet to actually make any.
Get the kettle on.
He's timed it right then, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
Hi.
Hi, yeah.
You all right?
Down.
Right.
You must have heard the kettle.
Yeah, what I was thinking today is do a trial batch of the cheese.
OK.
What milk have you got?
I've got sheep's milk. It was
How much was he charging for that?
£3.80 a litre.
£3.80 a litre?
It's a lot, isn't it?
What sort of
I have
quantity?
to forget the cheese and start selling milk.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got 5 litres, but I think it'll make about a kilo.
Right. I will leave you to it then.
Right.
I've got wages to pay and things to do.
Oh.
Cool.
Dan's made cheese with cow's milk before, but he's never tackled sheep's milk. It's higher in fat and protein, so you use less milk and its consistency is different.
I've tried to keep the recipe really simple and just so there's less to go wrong.
Is this a recipe that you've used previously?
Yeah, I did it with cow's milk. It's just like a very basic cheddar style.
OK. How long do you mature it for then?
The last one, it was about 6 months, but you can eat it after 2 months, I think.
OK.
So I just wait till it goes to 30 degrees and then I add the start culture.
OK.
Dan is not the only one doing things for the first time. 38-year-old David, who doesn't have a driver's licence, is learning how to drive the telehandler, a skill essential for farm work.
Do you want to go and have a go at picking the bale up while I'm with you?
OK, mate, yeah. All right.
So put her into...
Might help if I put it in gear. So I want it down slightly.
Yeah.
I want those to
and then if you
like that.
If you come to a stop now, then you push it out.
OK. And then once it's in, I tilt it back.
Yeah, tilt it back.
Right?
Keep going all the way.
All the way up, like that.
And then I'd pull it back in so your weight isn't far out.
OK, like that.
Yeah. Then if you want to reverse back up, take your handbrake off.
How'd I do?
I have to say, you have done a very good job there. In fact, I think it's actually in the lines.
Kind of pleased with that. It's turned out all right. Can't whack a brew. That was well earned, I feel. Yeah.
In the caravan, Dan and Heather have made their first ever sheep's cheese.
Most of the moisture's come out now.
Oh, wow, that is really crumbly, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost like paneer now, isn't it?
Yeah, you can eat this now as well.
So 5 litres boils down to that?
Yeah, which is...
About a kilogram?
About that, yeah.
OK, so...
Which is more than cow's milk.
If you're free.
Today they've made 1 kilo, but the plan is to make 20,000, selling them for £15 a kilo.
Then we'll taste it in a couple of months once it's matured and see.
It's going to be a bit different doing it from this side to a 4,000 litre.
Vats, yeah. The basic principles are going to be similar, but it will be a completely different process.
That's good.
Completely different.
To produce milk, the ewes have to lamb. Back in November, they had their time with the ram. So now retired vet John is checking each ewe for pregnancy.
So that's an ultrasound scanner. That's the gel. Feeds through so you get contact with the sheep. This will tell us if they're pregnant and how many lambs they have.
The more lambs they have, the more milk they have, and the more cheese they can make.
So now I've got the probe on, I'm looking at the uterus. Oh, there it is, that's its head. This is definitely pregnant. OK, next one. When you look at experts doing this, it's literally in, on, out. What I'm doing is pondering how many we've got in, which is the difficult bit.
Stop it! It's eating the paper, John. This one's eating the book.
That's got 2 heads. That's twins.
But not all the mums to be are quite so obvious.
You all get the picture.
Yeah, it's just not a very good one.
Yeah.
And certainly not what John was expecting.
That explains why he's not pregnant. We're scanning a ram.
All in, the Baileys have 130 pregnant ewes that will be lactating, and are hopeful for 500 lambs, which will make their flock bigger and hopefully their new business successful. As with all farmers, the working day starts at the crack of dawn.
I'm just going to have a quick peep round to make sure everybody's okay before I pick David up. Okay, I'll see you when I get back. All right.
Okie doke.
Come on then. Come on, dogs. Get out of my way. Good dogs.
Whilst many retirees might be contemplating a day of pottering, Heather's first job of the day is to check on the welfare of her new heavily pregnant ewes.
Just looking for now. No, you don't get fed yet. All right, good girlies.
They're nearly at their full term of 22 weeks, so lambing can happen at any time now.
All right. Oh, no. Oh, no.
But for one of her flock, the worst has happened.
Oh, God. I'll have to ring John. Be quiet. So I think what's happened is she's probably, for whatever reason, started to try to lamb, but the uterus, the cervix hasn't opened, so she's just pushed and pushed and pushed, and she's pushed her guts out, which is terrible. So she's tried to lamb, hasn't she? Yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting anything like that. We've not had one do that at all.
For an animal lover as attached to her flock as Heather is, it's a tough take.
Where there's livestock, there's dead stock. That's what the expression is, but it's just you'd prefer to have more livestock than dead stock. And it's not a good way to start a morning.
Just a few hours later, building work gets back underway with the arrival of the roofers.
Oh, wow.
Now that's what I call a sheep shed.
Oh, it is going to be. It'll be nice when it's done.
But despite having roofers, there's an issue with getting all the stock.
We're still waiting for the valley gutter to arrive. Apparently there's no galvanised sheet in this country to make it out of, so that's pending. So that could hold the roof up.
And then there are further delays due to COVID travel restrictions.
All this stuff, it comes from Sweden. The Swedish engineers haven't been allowed to travel because of this pandemic. So the people that's putting it in from De La Val are from South Wales. They weren't allowed to travel out of Wales either.
I think the chances of us getting to lamb here are 0.
Coming up, David and John are let loose with the clippers.
One down, 500 to go.
Lambing season begins.
Delivering puppies, you don't normally have to lie down in the shite.
More losses.
That's a big hit in the pocket. We've lost the milk yield for a year.
And I'm back to see how progress is coming on.
This must feel a little bit scary. Sorry, I don't want to labour the point.
It is a bit intimidating.
It's now May. John and Heather's huge sheep's cheese making operation was supposed to be fully operational by now. Their schedule has been torn up due to delays caused by supply problems, the pandemic and Brexit. Even their house refurb is behind schedule. With the proceeds of their life's work invested, their passion project is frustratingly stalled.
This is the face of modern farming. Spend more time in front of a computer than in a lambing shed. We're having to look at the cash flows for this business because we've hit a very significant delay. We should have been milking these sheep this lactation. I was hoping to have a milking parlour up for May come July, so we catch at least part of the lactation. Realistically, that's not going to happen. What we've got now is we've got a flock of milk sheep that we're having to treat as though they were traditional meat sheep. So that's a big hit in the pocket. Basically, we've lost the milk yield for a year.
They may have lost their whole first year's cheese, but lambing season stops for no one. It's the busiest time of the year for any sheep farmer, so there's no let-up for John and Heather. The flock has taken over their entire life, even their temporary home in the caravan.
Oh, come here. Oh, let's have a look at you. Hello. Hello, darling. Hello. Look. Oh, Gracie, don't be so jealous. She is the remaining one out of a group of triplets that were born last night. But unfortunately, one of the males died shortly after it was delivered, and then the next one died about an hour later, and the mother wasn't looking after them, and she was so cold that we brought her into the caravan last night to warm up.
Back in the lambing shed, the whole family lend a hand, or at least offer encouragement.
I'm trying, Pippi.
And for a man who's spent a 40-year career looking after rather smaller family pets,
It's getting going.
the agricultural experience is a little different.
When you're delivering puppies, you don't normally have to lie down in the shite.
The lambing season is at its peak. Births can happen at any time of day or night.
We usually walk round every couple of hours, well, from 4 o'clock.
All's well in there. I just want to check those lambs we just delivered.
Yes, we've just had a delivery of lambs up here, so we'll just check the newborns.
Even for two people whose lives have been spent caring for animals, their relationship with their flock is very close.
All's well in here.
All right, girls, don't panic, don't panic. There we go. Hello, babies.
Nobody lambing in here. Not yet.
You can go back to sleep now. Come on. Be quiet. Hey. I'm going to bed.
I put the clock alarm on for 2 hours. Sit here and snooze.
Good night. See you, boys. Behave yourselves.
All in all, the Baileys have successfully delivered 500 lambs over the past 6 weeks. And in June, a milestone is reached as the highly insulated wall panels of the creamery, the temperature-controlled building for the cheese to mature, go up.
Done a good job there. Yeah. We got walls. It's a creamery. I can smell the cheese.
The build is already 4 months behind schedule. Meanwhile, cheesemaker Dan is ready to start finding out how it's done on an industrial scale by spending a day at a successful creamery in Lancashire.
It's going to be the first time I'm properly making cheese in a commercial dairy, so I'm really excited.
I think the worst case scenario is if it goes horribly wrong today and I'll realise I've made a big mistake going into cheese making.
Dan, this is Faye Kitching.
Hi, Dan.
Faye.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Dan, Faye's going to put you through your paces today, I think.
Yeah.
See what a bit of graph's really like.
Good, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. How much cheese will this make?
So in this vat at the moment we've got 1900 litres. You get about a 10% yield.
Yeah.
So this should give us roughly about 190 kilograms.
Okay.
Yeah. So for every 10 litres you get a kilogram of cheese.
So some cheeses in here are brand new. They've only been made sort of last week or the week before.
Yeah.
And then other cheeses are up to 5 years old.
Wow.
There's a market out there for every kind of cheese you make.
Yeah.
But sometimes it might be a little bit small, as is the Billy No Mate, which is this one.
Oh, right,
That's
yeah,
the 5-year-old goat's cheese.
Yeah.
And that's like licking a billy goat, really.
That's it, right.
Yeah. Don't ask me how I know.
Well,
but that is really powerful stuff. I think we've caused several divorces with that.
We need to cut the curd into squares. So the first thing we use is this upright cutter. That's it, yeah. And then back this way and over the bit that you've
Take it out and then push
yeah,
it back.
You can lift it out and then come back towards me. That's it.
Yeah.
Just so it's all being done.
Yeah.
And then your last one along that far edge
Oh, it's
there.
quite satisfying, isn't it? And when it comes out in chunks.
That's perfect. Put the stirrer back in. And we're going to stir this now for an hour.
You try.
So
brilliant, yeah, and turn it 180 degrees. And bring it out now. Perfect, that's lovely. Honestly, I'm amazed at this. You are a natural-born cheese cutter.
I've got a thing for like angles and shapes.
I can
in my
tell,
head,
this
so
is fantastic.
It's a bit weird.
Today,
Yeah.
has it been what you expected?
I didn't expect how physical it would be with your hands.
Yeah.
And how long the hours would be and how hot it is. So I've just got to get used to that, I think.
Yes.
While Dan focuses on the cheese-shaped future, back on the farm, summer means sheep shearing season. Hundreds of sheep have to lose their hot, woolly coats. Despite his nearly 70 years, John is getting stuck in.
One down, 500 to go.
I'm in awe at John's energy and work rate. 38-year-old novice sheep shearer David doesn't share his dad's enthusiasm nor confidence.
Give it a try. I am a bit nervous, you know. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I am worried that I'm going to mess this one up. That's cool if I can give them a mohawk, but so long as they don't get hurt, I'm happy.
Ideally, you put that leg in behind your knee.
It's a difficult bit.
But with some gentle guidance from Dad, he's getting the hang of it.
Come on, man. We're nearly done, honestly.
That's it. That's good. OK, down you go, girl.
Come on, girl. What do you get?
That's good. She'll be feeling a lot more comfortable after that.
Come on, girl. Up you get. Right, let's see if I can roll this right as well.
Go on, fella.
It went better than I thought. I mean, I don't know if you can see how bad I'm sweating. It's a mixture of sheep are very hot, and the sheer exertion on my back, because I'm not great at it yet, is massive, you know? I mean, I'd say don't give up my day job, but that is my day job for the summer, so I'll get better, you know?
All I can see is smoke.
Would you go up?
As summer draws to a close, and with no milk, cheese, nor house, John and Heather have a family barbecue at the caravan.
Well, there's sausages.
The Baileys have, with no outside help, managed the two most difficult times for any sheep farmer.
Lambing's the busiest time of year. Then shearing, yeah, I mean, you can get someone in to shear them, but we just like doing it.
While the builders continue work on Heather's dream house, the farming side of the project is running well. But construction delays are ongoing. and they still haven't managed to get the engineers up to install the automated sheep feeding system in the huge new shed. By mid-autumn, even John's patience is starting to be tested.
Where are we at the moment? Wading through mud, I would guess. We're beset with delays and cost rises, availability issues and extensive lead times.
Coming up, I return after a year to see that new home John promised.
John? Heather?
I see if there's any sign of a new factory yet.
Oh, wow. That's quite a transformation.
And I finally get to taste some of the Bailey's sheep's cheese.
Shall I cut us all a piece
Please,
of this?
yeah. It's been a year since I last saw John and Heather. They were living in a caravan in January in the freezing cold, but they had grand plans to be milking sheep and producing cheese on a vast scale. I'm now back to find out what the last year had in store for them.
A year ago, after selling their vet's practices for a healthy amount of money, they were just starting construction on their cheese-making passion project.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you've done here. Oh, wow. That's quite a transformation. You've done a lot, but I can see there's still quite a lot to do. So
now the state-of-the-art sheep feeding shed and the creamery are finished, and the milking parlour is due to go up soon.
This large empty space, it's got to have another shed in for the milking parlour. That should be going up in the next few weeks.
the scale of this is astonishing. And I can really see it now that there are walls and roofs on. Still very much a building site.
It is.
In the creamery, we're joined by John and Heather's son-in-law, Dan. This is his high-tech, temperature-controlled cheese manufacturing space.
Oh, wow. It's got an echo, it's so big.
It's huge, isn't it?
This must feel a little bit scary. Sorry, I don't want to labour the point, but I mean, this is where you're going to manufacture your cheese.
It is a bit intimidating, because from outside the footprint didn't look that big, but now the walls and the ceiling's up. You
should know these guys don't do things by half.
Exactly, yeah.
Next door will be the sheep milking parlour. And next to that, the huge finished sheep shed. And inside, the long-awaited feeding equipment has finally been installed.
So the bones of this were up before, but it's got the roof on and a lot of equipment. So this is the sheep shed.
Yeah, it's where they're going to live.
And you've got this very technical feeding operation going on in here.
Oh, yes.
How does it work?
Fully automated, total mixed ration.
How amazing. Goodness me. Is this going to be one of the most advanced sort of facilities, do you think, in the country?
Well, this is grand designs for sheep.
This state-of-the-art feeding equipment is automated for speed to provide the best nutrition for the animals they care so much about. But what about John and Heather? A year ago, their dream home in the country was another serious building project.
John? Heather?
And they finally moved in just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my goodness, this is slightly different. This is not a caravan.
No, it isn't, is it? You can spread out in here.
Wow, look at this place. Oh my goodness. Is this like a well?
It is. It's good, isn't it?
You have put a lot of effort into this. It's taken its time, though.
18 months.
18 months. Heather, you hoped that you would be in last Christmas.
I did, but then, you know, we managed for this Christmas, so there you go.
Wow, it's such a light room. Obviously, the sun always shines in Derbyshire.
Always.
Only on the righteous.
So, John, tell me when you actually moved into the house.
Right, well, we moved in on the 22nd of December.
Oh, wow, so just a few days before Christmas.
Yeah.
18 months of builders in the house. Was it a huge relief to leave the caravan and move into the house finally?
Well, the first night we stayed here, I woke up in the middle of the night. I think I got agoraphobia.
That's too big.
So well, this floor, there's just the 2 bedrooms, and then there's 2 bedrooms above. This is the pièce de résistance. This is ensuite.
Oh, wow. That is a bath with a view. Is this your dream bathroom?
It is. This is the bath to sort of get wrinkly in, really, isn't it?
To think about those 18 months of waiting.
It is, yes.
Have you learnt a lot during this process?
Yeah, I think you always learn, don't you? You never stop learning, really.
It's that positive attitude which makes me believe they'll pull off their passion project to make sheep's cheese, which, incidentally, I'm about to get my first taste of.
It doesn't smell too strong.
Shall I cut all a piece
Please,
of this one?
Yeah.
This is about 8 months maturing, this one.
So this is almost like a manchego.
Has that farmy taste, doesn't it?
Yes. Now I'm smelling it now, that is exactly what I'm thinking.
It's got that sort of texture to it.
See, I really like that texture.
Thank you.
I'm actually going to take another little slice, it's so good. If this is the starting point, I think you really are onto a winner.
Hopefully, I do too.
Yeah.
Hey, John. Have you tried this one?
Yeah, it's good. It's like a manchego.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
I've got sheep's poo on my fingers. I still think you're all bonkers, but I love bonkers people, and I love people with big dreams. and if anyone's going to make it, you guys are going to make it.
Well.
No doubt about it. There's some certainties about May, and those lambs are going to start popping out.
I'm not convinced about this May date, but hey, I know that you will do it.
It's time to make one last visit to feed their beloved woolly friends.
Well, I'm glad you guys are here to do this.
Where do you want the food?
We'll call the sheep over a bit. Come on!
Come on!
Come on!
It is not that.
All right, guys.
Oh, okay, just a long line here.
Yeah, just a little bit. Come on!
Come on!
Oh, it won't come from the bottom. Just go.
What do you see? Cheese?
No, I don't. I see lambs.
You see lambs?
These are me babies that I bottle fed.
This has been a big project, but things haven't gone exactly according to time plan. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Has that been stressful, though?
Yeah, what happens, happens. No point losing any sleep over it.
If it was easy, everybody would do it, wouldn't they? And not everybody's doing it. Blatantly, obviously.
I don't think everyone is as bonkers as you guys are.
That is true.
I'm picking my words quite carefully because I'm not saying mad, because I think it's absolutely inspiring what you're doing. But it must have pushed you a little bit, the fact that, you know, it's been a year since I was last here, and there's still a lot to do.
There is, but there's always going to be a lot to do, isn't there? I mean, when me and John have finished, there'll be a lot for the grandkids to do. So it's a starting point and not an ending point.
Hannah, will they ever retire?
No. Mum says she's thinking probably, but they'll never keep still.
What an amazing family. I have to say, I've been really inspired by this whole journey. I'm inspired by their positivity, by their hope, but also by their attitude about life. Because lots of people look at things purely in economic returns, and they're very lucky that they have that money at their disposal. But they're living for the now. They're living life by seizing the moment and making the most of every single opportunity that comes their way. And this isn't about pure monetary returns. This is about doing something that they love. And you can't ask for much more than that.
Next time, I'll be in Scotland, in the beautiful Pentland Hills, meeting a woman who's swapping city life as a hotelier to follow her dream of living in the Scottish countryside and starting her own dog training centre.
It's like the dog's out then to their new home.
I'll see the stark realities of what she's taken on.
This bridge here that we're coming up to?
Yep.
This is where the beauty stops.
Wow. This is a massive mountain to climb.
Helped by her 2 sons, but with little money.
If anyone was going to do it, it'd be her.
And discover how much this extraordinary 63-year-old is prepared to endure for the sake of her dream new life in the country.
There's no bathroom in here.
We've got a portaloo.
Of course you do.
Yeah.